Hello everyone, welcome back to Code Coach. I am Chaitanya, and today we have an exciting problem to tackle in the world of algorithms. We will be diving into the longest consecutive sequence problem, where the challenge is to find the length of longest sequence of consecutive integers in an unsorted array. In this video, we will explore both brute force and optimal solutions, breaking down the concepts step by step. By the end of the video, you will have a solid understanding of how to approach this problem efficiently. So, let's get started. And there is one more constraint while solving this problem, that we have to complete the solution with order of n time complexity. Example 1. This is a given array and the answer is 4. Let's look why. As it contains 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, which is longest consecutive sequence in the provided nums array. So we have to return the integer 4. And in example 2, we contain all the numbers from 0 to 8. So the length of the longest sequence would be 9. Let's look into the constraints that nums array would range from 0 to 10 to the power 5, and the element of an array would range from minus 10 to the power 9 to the 10 to the power 9. So before getting into the optimal solution, let's discuss what are other solutions that we may use. First one is brute force method. Use two nested loops, and the outer loop selects each element as a starting point, and the inner loop checks for the present of consecutive elements by subsequent elements, and increment the count and then update the count in the longest sequence variable and return the longest sequence variable. And the time complexity would obviously be big O of n square, as we are using two nested loops, and the space complexity would be linear, as we are not using any extra space behind variables. And there is one more solution we can solve without after brute force method, is a sorting method. Initially we sort the array. This can be done using any built-in or sort function, and then we iterate through the sorted array, checking for consecutive elements, count the length of each consecutive sequence, and update the maximum length. The time complexity would obviously take n log n due to the sorting algorithm. Our space complexity would be order of 1 or order of n, depending on the sorting algorithms used. If you choose radix sort, bucket sort, or count sort to sort the algorithm, it would obviously takes order of n space complexity. So let's look into the optimal solution that would complete this problem with the order of n time complexity. We are going to use hash set in this way to solve this problem. So this is the initial edge case. We need to look, check if input array is empty. If so, return 0, indicates that there is no sequence in the provided array since it is empty. And then if we look into the declarations, we need to declare a hash set and copy the elements of given nums array, given nums vector or array. And then initializations of ls is longest sequence, and cs is current streak, and cn is current number. And initialize longest sequence with 0. And then after declarations and initializations, let iterate through the set s. While iterating, follow these steps, and these are the our main logic which is used to solve this problem with the order of n time complexity. And as a first step, check if it is the start of a sequence. A number is a start of a sequence if there is no preceding number num minus 1 in the set. If it is true, update the number with I and current streak with 1, and continue to count the consecutive numbers and update current number and current streak, and update the longest streak found. Let's implement this information into a code. So this is used to check if it is the start of a sequence, or if any previous element may exist in the set. If no previous element is found, get into the condition. We initialize current number with I and current streak as 1. and then we run a loop for to find the is there exists a next element in the set. If so, we increment the count number and then current streak, and when it get fails, we lastly update the longest sequence, and then after completing this we return ls. So let's run this code. It gets accepted. So you may get a doubt that as we are using two loops, the time complexity would be order of n. In optimal solutions for the longest consecutive sequence, the problem using a hash set, the algorithm indeed involves two loops, but it's not order of n square, because the inner loop, this loop, because this inner loop doesn't iterate through the entire array for each element. You need to keep that in mind, that it is not looping over the array of elements, just it is checking that the next element exists in the array or not. So it may look like there are two loops, they work in such a way that overall time complexity is linear. This is a common technique in algorithm that use a hash set for membership checks. So thank you guys.